What is going on, Buffalo State Hockey? My name is Evan Harrington alongside Bengals head hockey coach Steve Murphy here for another sit-down interview midway through the week as the Bengals are on their final road trip of the season this weekend against Plattsburgh in Potsdam, closing out SUNYAC regular season play. But before we get into that, Murph, how you doing?
Doing good, Ev. Doing good.
So middle of the week here, practice just wrapped up a little bit ago. Just talk about how the team has been through practice leading into this big postseason weekend.
Inconsistent. That's probably the best way to put it, and I think that's what's our play's been like the last month in games, and I think just when we want to go, we go. When we don't show up or we don't feel like it, we don't go, and so I just would like to see our urgency and our consistency pick up, and we're trying to get that going into our guys, but part of this falls on them too to get their heads screwed on straight, before practice or before a game. So I'd like to see the consistency. Some of the stuff that we're still talking about in February, we shouldn't be talking about right now.
So you talk about how postseason hockey is pretty much already here, just with the end of the regular season amping up. Last weekend, Oswego and Canton, those were two big games. Cortland and Morrisville the weekend before. And now moving into this weekend, points are on the line. Right now, you guys are currently sitting in the 3 seed, which would give you home ice, but there's a chance to potentially move up to the 2 seed or higher. You talk about the inconsistencies throughout practice in the last month or so. As that coach, how do you kind of get your guys into a rallying momentum into this big weekend?
Well, there's a chance to miss the playoffs still too. So let's be honest here, that if we don't get our act together, then that's where we could be at as well. So I mean, right now we're in a fine spot, but we still haven't clinched a playoff. And I think, again, because some of the inconsistencies that we've seen over the past couple of weeks have now put us into this spot. So, one game we show up and we kind of just go through the motions, and then the next game, we play pretty well. We got to start kind of flatlining that and just meeting in the middle ground here and having a consistent compete and battle level every night. So, for us, again, we're just trying to get it right this week. 2 big games against Plattsburgh and Potsdam. And I don't think it needs to be said, but that's going to be an urgent bunch. Plattsburgh's on the outside looking in, and Potsdam's one of the hottest teams in the conference right now. So we've got to be prepared to put our work before our skill, and if we're not ready to do that, it's not going to be a good weekend.
And you talked about showing up, and you as your head coach are looking to probably rely on your seniors a little bit down the stretch. And your seniors have been coming alive a little bit the last few games. Joe Glamos, 4 points in his last 3 games. Connor Brazal, back-to-back games with goals. And Micah McCosh on the fourth line has been giving you some points there as well, 2 in his last 5. Just talk about the seniors getting going here late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting a little steadier, and I think picking up, like you said, just picking up on the score sheet, which is good. So, I think for us, obviously having those guys contribute is a key part to us, maybe making a deep run in playoffs. I think there are just a couple of, 3 of many guys, though, that we need if we're going to be successful here. And I think the best way to maybe look at it is, if we're getting if we can get 2 goals from our top 6, if we can get 1 goal from our bottom 6, and we can get 1 special teams goal, I think we're going to win, more games than not here the rest of the way. And I think that's kind of just the easy way to put it. And I think that goes for any other team in the conference as well, right? So if we're getting that, then I think we'll be fine. So yeah, it's good to see those guys obviously picking up their play. But there's a number of other guys here that they're starting to go the wrong way, that we need them to get their heads on straight.
And picking up his play this past Saturday was goaltender number 35, Marcus Cumberworth. He made 1 save in particular against Oswego that potentially saved the game. It was 2-2 late in the third before the Donovan Powell power play goal. Puck's right on the goal line, and Marcus Cumberworth puts his glove right on it, and the puck didn't move, and it kept it out of the goal, which would have gave the Lakers 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean, he played well that game, right? I think we gave up way too many grade A chances to them. It was obviously a nice bounce back win for us, but I still don't think our level of play was where it needed to be after watching the film. But he bounced back. Again, I think he's a guy that's been a little inconsistent here down the stretch. You know, I think there was probably a couple goals against Canton that he probably should have had, and then he bounces back against Oswego and played pretty well for us, right? And that's 2 games against them that, you know, maybe he stole in the show, or at least held the fort down for us until we broke through. So yeah, we just need him to be obviously consistent and good down the stretch here if we're going to stand any chance at winning. He gave us a chance against Oswego. We need him to be good this Friday night.
So speaking of Friday night, you guys are headed on the road all the way up in northern New York, starting with Plattsburgh, a team that defeated you guys earlier this season. They're sitting currently below you guys in the standings, but knowing that they have the win over you guys and they're looking to climb up in the SUNYAC rankings, just talk about this Plattsburgh squad.
Well, I expect their urgency to be through the roof. I mean, they're on the outside looking in, 1 point out of a playoff spot. So, yeah, I mean, for them, this is the biggest game of the year for, obviously, you know, for the Cardinals. So, yeah, I really hope that we can obviously exceed their urgency, and we're ready to go right from the drop of the puck. If we don't start the game on time, we're going to put ourselves in a bad spot. So it's a team that obviously can explode offensively, and it's not an easy place to play. So I think the biggest concern for me here is we've got to be ready to match, you know, just their intensity and their readiness to go.
And then Saturday at 7, you guys will be headed down to Potsdam to finish the road trip weekend. A team that ended your guys' season last year. You defeated them at home earlier this season. But Potsdam, one of those teams that's still clawing and looking to climb up the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, they're, like I said earlier, they're one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the conference right now. So that's going to be another test for us. They're playing really well. They're getting a really good goaltending. And they're in a playoff spot. So obviously, you know, with them knowing that they're possibly on the bubble as well, I don't expect anything less than their obviously best. And like you said earlier, this is playoff hockey, and everyone should be raising their intensity and raising their focus and their compete. And I think for us, we're a little short of where I'd like us to be. So yeah, it's a huge weekend. It's this is a tough, probably the toughest road trip to go on in our conference right now. And we're going to need nothing less than our A game, both games, if we want to come out of here with some points.
The Bengals on the road Friday and Saturday. Friday against the Plattsburgh Cardinals, and then Saturday against the Potsdam Bears. Then they end their season on the following week, Friday, February 21st, for the Battle by the Lake rivalry against the Fredonia State Blue Devils. For Evan Harrington, Bengals head hockey coach Steve Murphy, thank you for tuning in to another sit-down interview ahead of the Bengals road trip matchup. We will see you guys real soon. Take care. Have a great day, and most importantly, go Bengals.